Welcome to the Northwest Sports Fanatics YouTube channel. I am your host, Orion. I got a great show for you here today between the Seattle Mariners and the Los Angeles Dodgers. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Thursday, everyone. And on the thumb, on the left, celebrating a birthday yesterday, one of the best second basemen already in the game, Cole Clutch Young. And on the right, a future Hall of Famer for the Los Angeles Dodgers, Mookie Betts. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners at second base, Cole Clutch Young. Batting second, playing left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting third, DHing the Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, center fielder, it's J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez. Batting fifth, playing first base, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. Batting sixth, catching today for Seattle, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting seventh, playing right field, Luke Raley. Batting eighth, playing third base, Weston Wilson. And batting ninth, playing shortstop, it's the phenom in the 9-hole, Colt Emerson. And on the mound for the Mariners with a 7-7 record, ERA of 4.37, it is Brian Wu. And now let's get into the starting lineups for the home Los Angeles Dodgers. Leading off for the Dodgers at second base, Tommy Edman. Batting second, playing center field, Andy Pages. Batting third, playing first base, Freddie Freeman. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, third baseman, Max Muncy. Batting fifth, playing shortstop, Mookie Betts. Batting sixth, playing right field, Kyle Tucker. Batting seventh, DHing tonight for Los Angeles, Teoscar Hernandez. Batting eighth, catching today for Los Angeles, Dalton Rushing. And batting ninth, playing left field, welcome back to the team with a left oblique strain, Kike Hernandez. And on the mound for the Dodgers with a 4-5 record, ERA of 4.71, it is Roki Sasaki. Tridents up, let's go M's. And obviously with the injury report that I mentioned in the chat earlier, Shohei Ohtani, he is out with left knee soreness, so it definitely gives the Mariners a better chance to be able to win here tonight. And he is day-to-day, so he'll probably be ready to go in a day or two. But again, this definitely gives the Mariners a chance to be able to win a series. And remember, we won our first game in Los Angeles 2 days ago since 2009. And obviously, we have not won a series in Los Angeles in a very long time. So I wish the best for Shohei Ohtani. I don't wish injuries on anyone, but for this particular game, not having Ohtani to play definitely should help us out as long as Wu doesn't shit the bed. And hopefully we get some hits here today as well. Tridents up, let's go M's. 50th game 50th year anniversary, for the Seattle Mariners, 40 plus years on the radio for this legend and icon. He's retiring after this season, so we dedicate every stream to the one and the only Rick Riz. We are 2 games back in the division, so if we can win today, it'll definitely make up a little bit of ground there in the AL West. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. All right, Roki Sasaki on the mound. And starting it off, my favorite player on the team, second baseman Cole Clutch Young. On deck will be Randy Arozarena. Magic number for the Mariners will be 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. And if Wu can give up 3 runs or less, preferably 2 or less, that should give us a chance, here tonight. Daniel in the building, what's good? Golf in the building, what's good? Josh is in the building. Blue Jay, good to see you. Cobra's in the building. Jonah is in the building. Mike, I see you. Uma, I see you. How are you? Paisley is doing well. Callie in the building, representing Hawaii in the building. How are you? And again, we just got to be able to take it one game at a time. And then we'll be live tomorrow, same time, same place, but we'll be at home against the Minnesota Twins, and they will not have Byron Buxton. So again, if we can end up winning 2 out of 3 versus the Dodgers, that could be huge and give us that momentum going against the Twins tomorrow. First pitch from Sasaki, right down the middle to Cole Clutch Young, takes a strike, 0-1 count. Slider 87 miles an hour there by Sasaki. And he's been kind of like Brian Wu, sometimes on, but other times a little bit off. 0-1 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Sasaki to Young. Nathan in the building, how are you? Dark Passenger in the building. Sean in the building. From one dog father to another, I appreciate you. Good to see you. 1-1 pitch. And Young fouls that back to the Arco sign behind the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Top of the first inning, 0-0 Mariners and Dodgers. Odin in the building. My brother, how are you? 1-2 pitch. And a little chopper there by Young. Betts has it, throw to first, and that is 1 up and 1 down. And I hope everything goes smoothly for your dog, Riley, Uma. I know what that's about. And again, you just want them to be able to sleep, properly and just not have that, cone kind of bothering their day-to-day duties. And hopefully there won't be any setbacks for you. Next up is Randy Arozarena. First pitch, high and inside, 1-0 count. On deck is the Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone. .10 pitch, high and inside as Randy takes that ball. Splitter, 89 miles an hour. Good start here. 2 balls and no strikes with nobody on and 1 out. 0-0 here early between the Mariners and Dodgers. .20 pitch. And a hard hit ball fading out of play. 4-seam fastball, 99 miles an hour there by Roki Sasaki. 2 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. Top of the first, 0-0 Mariners and Dodgers. We got the series with the Twins coming up on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I also will be tuning in to SummerSlam, night 1 and night 2 for WWE. So it should be a very fun weekend. 2-1 pitch in there for a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. 2-2 pitch. Low and away. Good patient at bat here for Randy. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Rebecca in the building. How are you? 3-2 pitch, hard hit ball there by Randy Arozarena, laser towards the first base line, out of play. Count still is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. 3-2 pitch, high and inside. And that is a walk for Randy Arosarena. We'll take it. Andrew in the building. Win it for Jimothy. I mean, Jimothy at this point is a national celebrity. I mean, they're going to even do a trading card night and, you know, T-shirts and all that. So, you know, obviously we embrace anything animal, you know, in the Pacific Northwest. Even if it ends up being an animal with a deformity, you know, we're still going to love it the same type of way. That's what we do. First pitch, big swing and a miss. Low and away with a forkball. That's the first time we've seen that this season by any pitcher. 87 miles an hour, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss with the splitter right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes from Roki Sasaki to Dominic Canzone. Let's go, Dom. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 0-2 pitch, a little dribbler towards first and out of play. No balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first. Randy Arosarena with a walk with 1 out. No Shohei Ohtani tonight. Left knee soreness day to day. That gives us a advantage, you know, to a certain degree, only if Wu can pitch well and we can get a few home runs. Throw to first, and Randy is safe. O2 pitch. And Sasaki is initiating the challenge. That looked like strike 3, but we will see what the ABS says. And I really love the ABS. I think it's been one of the best new things that they've added to baseball. And they just get the corner. And that call is overturned, and that is strike 3. And you want to make sure, you know, you're getting the calls correct. So. And that is 2 away. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. And wild pitch to first, and it goes into the dugout, and Randy gets to go to second. Here we go. I mean, Scooball has, you know, Seattle ties, you know, with his college days, you know, but again, with the money that we would have to pay and, you know, not knowing if he would actually be on the team, you know, after this year or not, you know, very unlikely that Scooball comes to the Mariners. He's more likely to go to the, you know, Dodgers or, you know, a top team, you know, rather than coming to a team like us. But there is a chance that we might be able to get, you know, like a Seiya Suzuki or a Mason Miller or Casey Schmidt type. And, you know, maybe even an Otto Lopez. We do a lot of deals with the Marlins in the last few years. 0-1 pitch, high and inside. You know, but, you know, the Marlins being a trade partner would not surprise me one bit. It's been something we've done lately the last few years. 1 ball and 1 strike from Sasaki to Rodriguez. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss there by Julio. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. One-two pitch, a little dribbler towards third base and out of play. Roki Sasaki on the mound. 4-5 record, ERA of 4.71. So nothing too crazy to get worked up about. You know, but he's definitely streaky like Wu. So we'll see what kind of game we end up getting here today. Hey, any type of Ken Griffey Jr. cards, you know, regardless how you get them, those are always going to be coveted by a lot of collectors, no matter what the condition, but obviously condition matters. 1-2 pitch, hard hit ball, deep left field, back to the warning track, and caught. And that is out number 3. All right, let's go to the bottom of the first inning and see who's up next here for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Normally it would be Ohtani leading off, but like I mentioned in the chat at the beginning of the broadcast, if you didn't get a chance to take a peek there, Ohtani is out today for left knee soreness, and Ohtani doesn't really miss, too many games. So for him to be out is a huge advantage for us. He is day to day, so he'll probably be back tomorrow or on Saturday. Leading off, instead of Shohei Ohtani, they had to mix up the batting order a little bit. Leading off, second baseman Tommy Edman. Batting second, center fielder Andy Pages. And batting third, first baseman Freddie Freeman. But even with no Ohtani, let's be honest, this Dodger team is stacked, and they could easily still beat us. But I'm hoping that Wu pitches decent, and we can get 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits, or somewhere close to that, and he only gives up 3 runs or less, preferably 2 or less, and we'll have a chance. Brian Wu, 7-7 record, ERA of 4.37, but the difference is when he's at home, he's electric, 2.20. Right, ERA, but on the road, it's been a nightmare. 6.52 ERA. So he's got to not give up 6 runs today. And if he's able to cut that in half, we should be able to compete. But we'll also need a home run or 2. Because again, when you're the most home run dependent team in baseball, you're going to need at least minimum of 1 home run. But obviously, it'd be nice if we can get 2, 3, 4, or even 5 like we did in game 1 of this series. Trident's up. Let's go M's. 13 subs to go to 24,500. We're looking for our first dono to get us going on our dono train. And let's see where we're at on the likes as we transition into the bottom of the first inning. And great start. We're at 40 likes, 60 to go. Cobra in the building, Steven in the building. What's good? First pitch is high and away to Tommy Edman, 1-0 count. But we definitely need, third base, a left or a right-handed hitter or both at the deadline, and some bullpen pitching, even though we should be getting Brash, Cooper Criswell, and Carlos Vargas back within a week or so. And then Brendan Donovan any day now. He wasn't in the lineup today for the Tacoma Rainiers, so it is possible that Brendan Donovan could be added to the team tomorrow, which I'm really hoping for. Fingers crossed. And I am kind of wondering why J.P. Crawford isn't starting over Weston Wilson. Again, JP with his patience in the box, I think I'd rather have him. But Weston has been pretty good as far as role players like Johnny Pareda. But again, I think JP would be more deserving, even though he has had issues defensively at short and third. 1-2 pitch, low and away. Curveball missing there, 82 miles an hour there by Brian Wu. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the first inning, 0-0 Mariners and Dodgers. Two pitch, high and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Wu on the mound, Edman in the box. All good, Odin. It was great to be able to watch some JCW with you earlier today. And, it's always fun, when we can end up watching a little wrestling together, even though, you're on the East Coast and I'm on the West Coast. It's always a fun day for me. Dodgers challenge. And instead of the strikeout, the call gets overturned, and that turns into ball 4, which is unfortunate. All right, Tommy Edman making his way to first after the successful challenge, which the Dodgers already have 2. And next up is center fielder Andy Pages. On deck is Freddie Freeman. Little check swing there that goes behind the plate, 0-1 count. Angry in the building. What's good? Mike in the building. What's good? 0-1 pitch from Wu. And Cal drops the ball. And runner easily gets to second base. And that is very uncharacteristic from Cal Raleigh. Hopefully he doesn't do that again. And, the Dodgers are a very, awareness type of team. They are definitely going to be able to take advantage of, any situation like that. Pass ball there from Wu to Cal Raleigh. And obviously we know Wu struggles on the road. We can't have that happen often. 1-1 pitch, hard hit ball into shallow right. And ends up dropping in front of Luke Raley. And now we got runners out in the corners at first and third with no outs. Next up is Freddie Freeman. First pitch is inside. Sinker missing there by Wu, 1-0 count. And, we typically get down early in games, but, we're hopefully able to jab back. And, Wu's struggles on the road have not been great. But we definitely need to get him bailed out here. We need a strikeout and a double play, or a double play and a strikeout. But, if they do end up scoring, hopefully we can limit the damage to just one run. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike swinging low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to Freddie Freeman. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss again. Another slider, but this one right down the middle, 87 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Wu to Freeman. Come on, Wu. 1-2 pitch from Wu, low and at the knees. Slider missing there to Freddie Freeman, who is one of the more patient first basemen in the game. 87 miles an hour with that slider as well. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Freddie Freeman. 2-2 pitch from Wu. Big swing and a miss. Good job there by Wu. And again, strikeouts have not been something that Wu gets a lot of on the road. But we'll take anything that we can get, especially against a future Hall of Famer, first baseman Freddie Freeman. Good job, Wu. Down goes Freddie. Now we just need a double play to get out of this inning. Next up, in the 4-hole, third baseman Max Muncy. On deck is Mookie Betts. First pitch is outside to Muncy with the slider, 1-0 count. No pitch, low and at the knees. Slider missing there. 2 balls and no strikes from Wu to Muncy. Yeah, we probably won't be, getting an early lead and not look back against a team like the Dodgers, but there is a chance that we might be able to do that against the Twins starting tomorrow with no Byron Buxton. But, with that being said, the Twins usually play us pretty well, regardless if it's at home or on the road. Takes a strike looking low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike from Wu to Muncy. 2-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, high and away. Nice pitch there by Brian Wu. Sinker, 96 miles an hour, high and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runners on the corners at first and third with 1 out. Bottom of the first inning, 0-0, Mariners and Dodgers. Come on, Wu. 2-2 pitch. And that is strike 3, even though it looked like he might have gotten a little tip, but it looks like he just missed it. Nice job there by Brian Wu after getting runners on first and third with back-to-back punch-outs. And remember, 2.20 ERA at home, amazing. 6.52 ERA on the road. But so far, as long as he can get out of this inning without giving up a run, hopefully that number will be much lower here today. Next up is Mookie Betts. And Woo never really had that problem last year. He was our best starter last year. But again, from one year to the next, a lot can change, based on injuries or, just poor play or a combination of both. First pitch, big swing and a miss. Woo starting to lock in. Slider 86 miles an hour, low and away. No balls and one strike with runners on the corners at first and third with 2 outs. Bottom of the first inning, 0-0 Mariners and Dodgers. Let's go, Woo. 0-1 pitch, hard hit ball by Mookie, and that's going to drop and roll to the outfield. Get it, Randy. And how many runs are going to score? That's going to score at least 1, maybe 2. And 2 runs score. Come on, Randy. And Woo gives up 2 runs here early, unfortunately. Mookie Betts has a tendency of doing that, even though he is having kind of a down year with Kyle Tucker. And hopefully we'll be able to respond back quickly. Same thing kind of happened to us in game 1, but we had home runs and we were able to respond immediately, and hopefully we'll be able to do that. And this was supposed to be a Bryce Miller start, not a Woo start, but again, they moved Miller till tomorrow. So Woo is pitching 1 day early, but normally it doesn't really matter. He hasn't been good on the road this year. All right, next up is Kyle Tucker, the former Astro. On deck is Teoscar Hernandez. But it doesn't really matter who pitches against the Dodgers. Normally they're going to do this to anybody. First pitch to Tucker is a ball, low and away, 1-0 count. And Mariners challenge. I assume that was Cal, and we lose that challenge. Only 1 left now. Yeah, but this Dodger team is, back-to-back champion. They could end up going back-to-back-to-back. They're 68-40. And again, even when they have injuries, they can still throw up 5 to 10 runs. That's how deep they are. If you look at their pitching staff and, everything that they got on their bench as far as their starters. And it's almost like ridiculous to be able to look at, people that are injured, for the team. I mean, they got guys like Blake Snell just kind of sitting there injured. It's just crazy, how good the team is. But, again, we just got to do our best. And that's popped up to Randy in left field by Kyle Tucker on a 2-0 count, and that is out number 3. And you also have to remember, which, sometimes people don't, go and look at the stats and the analytics as much as myself or others in the room. We won our first game against the Dodgers here in Dodger Stadium 2 days ago, right? And that was the first time that we actually won a game in Dodger Stadium since 2009, 17 years. So, again, for us to win this game, even with no Ohtani playing, it gave us a better chance. But, again, if Woo is going to pitch like he has, the bats have to come alive to be able to match. Otherwise, we're not going to, end up, keeping it close. But hopefully they will today. All right, let's see who's up next here for the Mariners, and hopefully we can get at least a run on the board, and we can kind of jab back after they hit us with a haymaker there in the first inning. All right, next up in the 5-hole, first baseman, it is Nails, Josh Naylor. Batting second in the 6-hole, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And hopefully we get a little bit of Soto mojo, and maybe we'll be able to get a home run out of Cal today. And batting third in the 7-hole, playing right field, Mr. Hustle himself, Luke Raley. Right ends up, let's go M's. 13 subs to go to 24,500. Sean's getting us started on the Dono train. Appreciate you. From one dog dad to another, I appreciate you with everything I got. Thank you so much. Paisley says, thank you so much as well. We're at 20 on the Dono train, 80 to go. Get a few people to be able to step up like Sean. And then let's take a look at the likes to see where we're at. And honestly, even if Bryce Miller was pitching today, the same result could have happened, even though Miller has been a little bit better than Woo overall. But, Miller has kind of come back to earth and hasn't been as good as he was when he first, came back to the team. All right, we're at 53 likes. Good start. 47 to 100. Doggo Dono acquired. and appreciated. All right, Mariner Moose, we're going to need all the help that we can get, considering Woo has been so bad on the road this year. And I still believe that we can win this game. We just need to get hits, RBIs, and especially home runs. Next up is Josh Naylor. First pitch from Roki Sasaki. Four-seam fastball on the corner for a strike. 0-1 count. And we're going to need to bunt. We're going to need to, to steal bags. We're going to have to hope that we get, a few guys walked. And if someone gets hit by a pitch, hopefully they don't get hurt. But we're going to need everything, to be able to compete against this championship caliber team, the best team in baseball, the Los Angeles Dodgers. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike looking, high and away. Four-seam fastball, 98 miles an hour. No balls and 2 strikes from Sasaki to Naylor. Dank in the building. What's good? Yeah. And obviously we won a lot more series last season and, we didn't have as many problems. So big swing and a miss. Down goes Josh Naylor. But even with everything going sideways, I still think that we can win this division. I still think, if we don't win the division, we can make a wild card. And as long as you get into the playoffs, anything can happen. And we obviously know the Rays and the Yankees will be favored, but that doesn't mean the Astros, the Rangers, the Mariners, the White Sox, or the Guardians can't get healthy and hot at the right time and, make a little bit of a run. You never know. And again, we obviously know Aaron Judge is hurt, Cody Bellinger and Giancarlo Stanton. And obviously the Rays are only an injury or 2 away from like Junior Caminero, where they actually come down to earth themselves as well. So anything can happen. 1-0 pitch to Cal Raleigh. In there for a strike looking. Slider there by Roki Sasaki. 1 ball and 1 strike from Sasaki to Raleigh. Hard hit ball. Deep right field. But just fading foul. What a laser there by Cal Raleigh. And again, this is probably the most challenging, year out of the last 20, 30, 40 years, for the Mariners. I mean, we've had more things go wrong in this single season than in any season that I can ever remember. So if we can get through this, we can get through anything, especially not only this year, but next year and every year after that looking forward. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Down goes Cal, and that is 2 away. Next up in the 7-hole, right fielder Luke Raley. On deck is Weston Wilson. I think I'd rather have J.P. Crawford playing today since Weston played yesterday and didn't make any errors, but definitely had a few baseballs get past him. And, we know that J.P. and Weston Wilson aren't the greatest hitters. Weston has been pretty good for us, overall. But I think after Weston played yesterday, I would rather have J.P. play today. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees. Slider missing there by Roki Sasaki. 2 balls and no strikes to Luke Raley. And I know JP has made some errors, at shortstop and at third base, but he's the most patient hitter on the team. He can get on and affect the game in a positive way with walks or, extended, pitch counts, get the pitch count up. And again, even though, he's had, some issues, obviously in the box at times and on defense, I still think that he's worthy of this team, and I would like to have him back on the team next year. 2-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Sasaki to Raley. But for Castillo and Refsnyder and Garver, it would definitely not hurt my feelings if they were not on the team, because I want to make way for guys like Ryan Sloan and Cade Anderson specifically to be on the team next year, if not this year. 2-2 pitch, a little slow dribbler there towards second, throw to first, toe tap on the bag by Freddie Freeman, and that is out number 3. Jack in the building, what's good? Yeah, Miller said he needed an extra day. So that was something that they decided to throw Woo Not because they wanted to, but, just based on where the rotation was at. So Woo's pitching one day early. And then obviously Miller, instead of pitching today, is pitching tomorrow. And again, it probably will be better for us because it'll give us a better chance to win tomorrow with no Byron Buxton and Miller, at home on the mound. Obviously, if Miller pitches today, the same result, 2-0, could have happened. And, again, we just got to get some home runs. That's really the difference. Woo can still be a little shaky, but if we can get home runs, then that'll kind of even the score out like it did in game one. But, we'll see if we get them. But Miller did have a little bit of a minor injury, just wanted rest, wanted one more day. And that's why we have Woo today instead of Miller. Miller was, the pitcher that was supposed to start. All right, next up for the Dodgers here as we go to the bottom of the second. In the 7-hole, DHing the former Blue Jay and Mariner, Teoscar Hernandez. Batting second in the 8-hole, catcher Dalton Rushing. And batting third in the 9-hole, left fielder coming back from a left oblique strain, Kike Hernandez. Tridents up. Let's go M's. We're at 20 on the dono train because of Sean. 80 to go. Appreciate you. From one dog father to another, I salute you. 13 subs to go to 24,500. We're getting close. 513 to go to 25,000. Exciting. 6.2 million views and counting. We're getting there. And let's take a look at the likes to see where we're at. We're at 63. Good start. $37 to $100. Shout out to our female audience, our new subs, all of our regulars, all of our mods, and everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. Hawks in the building. What's good? Yeah, but you can't really compare the Mariners to the Dodgers. I mean, the Mariners are 53 and 56. The Dodgers are 68 and 40. They're 28 games above 500. How many Hall of Famers do they have on the team? And even with no Ohtani, they can still throw up 5 to 10 runs. I mean, they're just built different. They spend the most money and they get the best results. I mean, you can't really compare, the Mariners and the Dodgers based on the organizations, and their ability to hit and play defense and pitch. And, really the biggest, threat to the Dodgers is themselves. And typically it's injuries. And Hernandez pops out to second. Cole Young is there, and that is one away. Yeah, 3-game series. Nice job there by Cole. And then we start at home tomorrow against the Minnesota Twins with no Byron Buxton. But the Twins do match up to us pretty well. Next up is Dalton Rushing. .1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss there by Rushing. Four-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour, high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. Bottom of the second, 2-0 Dodgers. One pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Woo to Rushing. I mean, you're not in the same category to a world champion team like the Dodgers since, we won 2 days ago for the first time since 2009 in Dodger Stadium. 17 years, that's quite a long time. Pitch fouled off right down the middle, 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Woo to Rushing. And I don't think we anticipated Woo or Kirby, being, as bad as they've been this year, even though they've had moments. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Down goes Rushing, and that is 2 away. But Mooney was terrible at the beginning of the year, and now is probably the most reliable guy that we have in the pen. But once we get Carlos Vargas, Cooper Criswell and Matt Brash back specifically. That will help out a lot. And Brandon Donovan could join the team tomorrow. So again, we're getting closer to getting healthy. And then also we may get rid of, Hancock, Rayleigh, or Castillo, or, a combination of those guys. And we'll see who we end up getting. And Naylor with the flip back to Wu, and that is out number 3. We got the trade deadline coming up in less than a week, so the team could look quite a bit different, within about a week, and for the better, considering all the things that have gone wrong for us. And we just need our, team to be healthy, and then maybe we'll get some chemistry and continuity, and then we can put our best foot forward as we try to make the push for the AL West as well as a playoff berth. All right, let's go to the top of the 3rd inning and let's see if we can get on the board. Even if we just get to 1, 1 is better than 0, just to kind of keep pace. Next up, in the 8-hole, third baseman, Weston Wilson. I'd rather have it be J.P. Crawford today, but if Wilson hits today, then it'll be all worth it. Batting second in the 9-hole, the phenom shortstop, Colt Emerson. And back at the top of the order, batting third, 0 for 1, second baseman, Cole Clutch Young. Tridents up, let's go M's. 13 subs to go to 24,500. We're at 20 on the Dono train, 80 to go. Shout out to Sean. Appreciate you always holding it down for the NWSF. It means a lot. Every dollar counts. So that way I can continue doing this stream and taking care of Paisley to the best of my ability. And we're at 68 likes. $32 to $100. Jack in the building. How are you? 50th anniversary for the Seattle Mariners. 40 plus years on the radio for this legend and icon. He's retiring after this season from the radio booth. So we dedicate every stream to the one and the only, one of my faves, Rick Riz. We love you. End of the second inning, 2-0 Dodgers. Mookie Betts with a double to left with Edman and Pajes on board. And again, Dodgers do have an error. But again, we need to be able to get our first hit of the game before the 5th, 6th, 7th inning. And we need home runs since we are the most home run dependent team in baseball. All right, so it looks like JP's got a sore wrist, that he was managing after being out for 4 games. So I guess that's the reason why that JP isn't in the game yesterday or today. But, we need, all our guys healthy. So that makes a little bit more sense. I just figured JP was good to go, and they chose Weston over him. But I guess that's not the case. But he's not going to go to the injured list, so that's good. First pitch takes a strike looking high and away, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and away, slider 87 miles an hour, 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs, top of the 3rd, 2-0 LA. 1-1 pitch, splitter in there for a strike, 90 miles an hour, right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Sasaki to Wilson. One-two pitch, and that is strike 3 looking. Down goes Weston Wilson, and that is 1 away. And, with all the things that have gone terribly wrong, with this team this year, we're only 2 games back. We've been able to sit in first place. We've also have been in second and third, and, we're just getting to the point where the team is going to be healthy, and we're going to kind of reshape the team at the deadline. And, I like our chances still to be able to compete in the American League since it's down this year. Next up is Colt Emerson. Fork ball to Emerson, big swing and a miss right down the middle, 85 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away, splitter 93 miles an hour, low and away. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out, top of the 3rd, 2-0 Dodgers. 0-2 pitch from Sasaki. High and away. Good take there by Colt. And Colt just needs to not be so overly aggressive. He just needs to be able to learn to be patient in the box, which he will be next season. He'll make a big jump in his offensive stats, but this is just kind of a learning curve for him in his rookie season like it was for Cole Young last year. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. And down goes Colt Emerson. And that is 2 away. I mean, he's already got the defense down like Cole Young. It's just about being a little bit more patient in the box. And I think that, that breakout year will definitely happen next year for him. And hopefully towards the end of the year, maybe he'll start to heat up. Next up, 0 for 1, second baseman Cole Clutch Young. First pitch is high and away from Roki Sasaki. Splitter missing, 1-0 count. And Roki's got a 4-5 record, ERA of 4.71, so nothing really to get too worked up about. But he is streaky, and when he's on, he's really on. But when he's off like woo. So far, pretty good start here for Roki. 1-0 pitch, low and away, slider 86 miles an hour. 2 balls and no strikes to Cole Clutch Young. Come on, Cole. 2-0 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away, slider 86 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike from Sasaki to Young. Two-one pitch, high and away. 3 balls and 1 strike from Roki Sasaki to Cole Clutch Young. They just mentioned in the broadcast, and again, if JP was healthy, Dan, you never know what he would do. Starting Weston Wilson back-to-back games with JP being healthy, he definitely could do that. But they said his wrist is sore, like it was when he missed those 4 games. So that's why we haven't seen JP, since game 1. So that's why he didn't play yesterday or today. But hopefully JP will be ready tomorrow when we play the Twins. 3-2 pitch. Little chopper towards third. And out of play. And who knows? Maybe Brendan Donovan will be our starting third baseman and, maybe our leadoff hitter even as soon as tomorrow. So he wasn't in the lineup for the Tacoma Rainiers today, which I thought was a little odd because normally they're trying to get him as much time as possible. So there's a chance that they might end up making a move and he might be on the roster tomorrow, which would be fantastic. We've missed that consistent leadoff hitter. And, when you don't have a consistent leadoff hitter, it's hard to gain, that rhythm and momentum to start games. And, Donnie was one of our best players before he got hurt. A lot of guys were slumping, if you remember, at the beginning. Cal, Julio, Josh Naylor. But Brandon Donovan was really hot. At times was batting 300, 350. So, can't wait for him to come back and, solidify third base for us, hopefully. 3-2 pitch, popped up. And out of play. Great souvenir, whoever gets that there in Dodger Stadium. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Top of the third inning, 2-0 Dodgers. But I would agree, Angry, with Dan, managing the team, you never know what he'll do. 3-2 pitch. And a hard hit ball up the middle. There we go. My favorite player getting the job done. A nice single by Cole Clutch Young. And he was able to get the hit yesterday to get us off the donut. And Cole Young, do you? Love it. Next up is Randy Arozarena, who ended up taking a walk in his first at-bat. And a wild pitch. And rushing throws to first, but Cole gets back to first just in time. And he is safe. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 1-0 pitch to Randy. High and inside. But looks like it just paints the corner. 1 ball and 1 strike from Roki Sasaki to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. 1-1 pitch. Randy with a blooper into center field. And it is caught by Pajes, and that is out number 3. And if Randy would have hustled in, the first inning, maybe we would have only be down 1-0 rather than 2. But we all know, once there's a ground ball in left field, what typically happens. It's like, we need you to run as fast as you can to get to the ball. And then once you get the ball off a ground ball in left field, you need to throw as hard as you can, not just a lob. And that did not happen. And instead of 1 run scoring, 2 scored. And Mookie ended up getting that big RBI with Edman and Pages scoring. All right, let's see who's next up for the Dodgers as we go to the bottom of the third. Back at the top of the order, leadoff hitter, second baseman 0-for-0 with a run and a base on ball, Tommy Edman. Batting second, 1-for-1 with a run, center fielder Andy Pages. And batting third, 0-for-1 with a K, first baseman Freddie Freeman. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. 13 subs to go to 24,500. We're at 20 on the Dono train because of Sean. Shout out to Sean. Doing big things on the channel every day. 80 to go on that particular goal. And let's see where we're at on the likes with 164 in the room. We should be getting closer to 100. We're at 71. 29 more to 100. Shout out to our female audience, our new subs, all our regulars and the mods, and everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. All right, Cody Clemens with the grand salami. So they're going to be coming off a big win, and they'll be emotional, but they won't, be in Minnesota. They'll be at T-Mobile in Seattle. So still plenty of time for the Mariners to make up some ground. First pitch from Wu, and Edman pops it up. Emerson is there, and that is 1 away. Great job there by Colt. Good defense there by Colt Emerson. Down goes Tommy Edman with the pop-up. Next up is center fielder Andy Pages, who's had a breakout year. And then on deck, one of the best first basemen in the game, Freddie Freeman. First pitch from Wu to Pages is high and inside, but hitting the corner with the sinker. 96 miles an hour there by Wu. Bottom of the third inning, 2-0 Dodgers with a Mookie Betts double to left that went to Randy's area. Edman and Pages scored, making it a 2-0 lead. Oh, 1 pitch, low and at the knees with a sinker. 96 miles an hour, 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. Wu on the mound, Pages in the box. One pitch from Wu. Hard hit ball, deep right field, fading out of play there by Pages. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Bottom of the third, 2-0 Dodgers. Come on, Wu. Hopefully Wu won't give up any more runs the rest of his outing. 1-2 pitch, popped up and out of play by Pages. Count still remains 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. I'm excited for us to go back home to T-Mobile. One-two pitch, popped up and out of play. Four-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour, high and away. Come on, Woo. One-two pitch, low and at the knees. Sinker missing there by Woo. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Woo to Pages. Two-two pitch from Woo. Low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes from Woo to Pages. Come on, Woo. Woo definitely having a hard time hitting the corners on the road. Curveball 83 miles an hour, low and away. 3-2 pitch. And a hard hit ball right up the middle. And Pages with a single that rolls to Julio Rodriguez. Very similar to the Cole Young hit moments ago. And that can be demoralizing when it ends up being a 3-2 count. But again, these are just the issues that Woo has had on the road. Definitely been the worst pitcher on the road out of the starting 6, besides Castillo. All right, next up is Freddie Freeman. On deck is Max Muncy. And a hard hit ball there. Flip it back to first. Good job there by Cole Young. And that is 2 away. No chance for a double play, but at least we get the out. And Pages goes to second. Nice job, Cole. Next up is Max Muncy. On deck is Mookie Betts. First pitch to Muncy is high and away, 1-0 count. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Curveball 81 miles an hour missing there by Woo. 1-0 pitch, foul back to the behind the plate as he fouls it off himself. Muncy, slider 89 miles an hour, right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at second. Pages with 2 outs. Bottom of the 3rd inning, 2-0 Dodgers. Rebecca in the building. How are you? Jesse in the building. How are you? Dodger Stadium's got a great atmosphere. Just like Yankee Stadium and at Wrigley for Chicago. There's just certain places where, that energy is turned up on another level. 1-1 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Woo to Muncy. All day in the building. What's good? Just got to be able to get a home run. When we hit 1 home run, the chance of us winning a game goes up like 90%. And then obviously if we, end up hitting multiple home runs, because 1 usually leads to 2, and then if we end up getting 2, sometimes that leads to 3, 4, and 5. But a little slower start, but again, we need to get on the board sooner than later. 2-2 pitch, popped up and out of play. And it also isn't ideal that we have Woo on the mound instead of Miller, who was supposed to start, but he needed 1 more day. And Woo is, terrible on the road. His ERA is above 6, but he's lights out at home, with an ERA of 2.20. So, you definitely play better at home than on the road for a lot of these guys, but normally the drop-off isn't that much, from our starting pitcher who ended up being the best pitcher on the team last year. So a lot can change from 1 year to the next. Rebecca with a 5er, and we're always staying positive, especially with people like you in the room. We appreciate you. We're at 25 on the Dono train. 75 to go. 3-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and that was huge there, getting Muncy out. And now let's go to the top of the 4th inning and see who is up for the Mariners. And let's see if we can get a single, double, or home run here by 0 for 1 with a K in the 3-hole today, the Italian Stallion, Dominic Canzone. Let's see if Dom can start the party for us. Batting second, 0 for 1, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Come on, J-Rod, we need you. And batting third, 0 for 1 with the K, first baseman, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. Shout out to our female audience like Rebecca, as well as all of our new subs, all of our regulars, all our mods, everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. 13 subs to go to 24,500. We're at 25 on the Dono train, 75 to go. That'll help, obviously, with doing this dream day in and day out, as well as taking care of Paisley. So I definitely appreciate that very, very much. And we are at 81 likes. We're almost there. 19 more to get to 100. Alex in the building. How are you? Yeah, and August schedule is going to be insanely difficult. We play a lot of playoff teams, so again, it's going to make or break us, and we got to get lucky in a few of those tough matchups. But in September, it gets dramatically easier. But we are going to be really battle tested. If you actually peek ahead and look at the schedule in August, it's not ideal. There's a lot of really, really good teams that we play, home and on the road. So I hope that, we make some good moves at the deadline. We get Brandon Donovan back, Brash back, Criswell and Vargas, because we are definitely going to need them in August. All right, let's go to the top of the fourth inning. 2-0 Dodgers. First pitch from Roki to Dominic Canzone. High and away, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, hard hit ball, deep left field, fading out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike from Roki Sasaki to Dominic Canzone. Good to hear that you're doing well, Alex. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Top of the fourth, 2-0 Dodgers. I mean, we may have to wait till Roki exits before we start to mash, hopefully. But if we can rough him up right before he goes out and then rough up a couple guys in the bullpen, that's kind of the formula. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Down goes Dom, shaking his head in a little frustration there, and that is 1 away. Next up in the 4-hole, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. And we could really use one of these ASAP. Come on, Julio. First pitch to Julio. Big swing and a miss right down the middle with the slider. 88 miles an hour. A 1 count. And I really am hoping that Brandon Donovan will be reinstated tomorrow. Could really use that energy and that boost as far as a leadoff hitter and a really good player. 0-1 pitch to Julio, high and away. Good take there by J-Rod. 1 ball and 1 strike from Roki Sasaki to Julio Rodriguez. Top of the fourth inning, nobody on with 1 out. 2-0 Dodgers. Now, but we're supposed to get Brandon Donovan, Matt Brash, Cooper Criswell, and Carlos Vargas within about a week or so, as that Julio hit is popped up into Pajes' hands in center, and that is 2 away. So if we can get all our injured players back, the 4 guys back in a week, and then we end up making a move or 2 or 3, even if that means dealing Rayleigh or Castillo or Hancock, and we end up, getting who knows who, Seiya Suzuki, Mason Miller, Casey Schmidt, Otto Lopez, as long as we're, improving the team, it'll be interesting to see what happens here within about a week. First pitch to Naylor, hard hit ball, shallow right field. And that is caught, and that is out number 3. as it goes into Kyle Tucker's glove. All right, let's see who's up next here for the Dodgers as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. Next up for the Dodgers, 1-for-1 with 2 RBIs, shortstop Mookie Betts. Batting second, 0-for-1, right fielder Kyle Tucker. And batting third, 0-for-1, DHing in the 7-hole, Teoscar Hernandez. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to DH someone, maybe having Randy DH, would be the smartest move, because that's the best thing that he can do is hit. Obviously his defense is a liability out there in left, and honestly, it wouldn't hurt my feelings in the future if he wasn't on the team moving forward. Again, for every home run and big hit that he gets, how many does he give up? Most of the time, and it definitely isn't a fair trade. So, but I do appreciate what Randy has done, in the box. And again, pop-ups, he's usually pretty good, but the lack of hustle, the lack of effort, on the ground balls, and once he gets the ball, I think I've seen him throw a laser maybe less than 5 times all season. Only once or twice, within the last couple months. So that's not only on Randy, but that's also on the coaching staff for not calling him out and making him change, that type of behavior. So. I would rather have a guy, that hits half the amount of home runs than Randy, but a guy that hustles, like a Luke Raley, running to first, running to every ball, and actually showing that he cares rather than just kind of playing when he feels like it, even though that may not be the case, but that's what it looks like on the field, with the lack of effort. So kind of just seems like he's in his own world. And again, he's been a perennial all-star. Maybe the ego has gotten so big that he thinks like he's Julio Rodriguez, or he thinks in his mind that he's the best player on the team because he's been going to the all-star game, the last few years for the Rays and the Mariners. But, I'm not a fan of him. I'll be honest. Like I said, I appreciate what he does in the box, but you'll never see me wearing a Randy jersey. I'll never buy a Randy rookie card. I'll never, go out of my way to, extend some support for him. Because again, I don't like players that are lazy or that don't show effort, but I do appreciate what he does in the box, and maybe moving Randy to the DH would be smart. But also having Dom and Rayleigh in the outfield isn't really ideal either. But Lazaro Montes and Michael Arroyo, if they don't trade him, there's other options in the near future. And who knows, maybe at the deadline, maybe we can get another piece that can play outfield. 1-2 pitch popped up and out of play. And our first round draft pick, Ace, even though he, came up as a third baseman, he can play first base and outfield. So maybe Ace ends up taking Randy's spot in the near future. So we will see. But it definitely sets a bad example when you don't hustle and you don't try. Not only for Randy himself, but for the teammates, and the fans that are watching. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Betts. Two pitch and a pop up to Randy, who's normally good at that, and that is caught, and that is 1 away. Yeah, France is actually one of the better players in baseball this season. I was actually watching a few programs on MLB Network on how he's able to hit outside of the zone, and he's right up there with some of the elite players in the league this season. So that would be interesting if we could, but I don't know if that is something that they would be wanting, and I'm not sure if the Padres would be willing to let him go. He's been kind of the Padres' best player, as far as consistency. But he definitely has had a great season and a rebirth in his career, Ty France. But, just because he's been doing good in San Diego doesn't mean that he comes back to Seattle and does the same thing, if that were to happen. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Wu to Tucker. Yeah, I would agree with that. The Cano is kind of similar, especially when you get guys that are not, built from the Mariner organization, that we didn't draft them. They're just like pickups from other teams. And obviously we got a guy like Luke Raley that came from the Rays, also like Randy, who's the complete opposite, who hustles on every play, no matter if he can get to the ball or not, and always hustles the first. So, but I think that I would agree with that. And I never was really a big Robinson Cano guy either. I thought that we overpaid for him. Obviously he was a good Yankee, mixed in with all those Hall of Famers. But, I actually preferred more, Nelson Cruz or Raul Ibanez or, Seager. I like guys like that. I didn't really like Cano, if I'm being honest, and I think Randy's that same type of player in this generation. I would agree with that. Even Cano showed a little bit more effort, though, but there were times that you saw some laziness. Count now is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Tucker. Three-two pitch, high and away, and that ends up being a walk to Kyle Tucker. Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard any Mariner fan say, Robinson Cano was my favorite. It's like, we understood that you were a good player for the Yankees, but I don't know. For me, honestly, I don't really like players that come from other teams. I'll never buy a jersey typically of a guy that we pick up in a trade. I always like homegrown guys that we draft, guys that are our guys, not just a rental or someone that we get from a trade. Even though there are some that I appreciate, like Luke Raley, complete opposite player from Randy. But, I like guys that we draft. And it's not only in baseball, that goes in any sport for me. Basketball, baseball, football, hockey. I always like the homegrown guys rather than the guys we get from other teams. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees as Tucker steals second and is safe. Bottom of the 4th inning, 2-0 Dodgers. 1-1 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Teoscar Hernandez. Little slow dribbler there towards third. Wilson is there on the run and not in time. That's why we need Brandon Donovan back. Who knows if JP would have been able to make that, probably would have thrown it high or low and, maybe would have made that play. But, I get it. Running, plays at third are hard. It's one of the hardest plays to make in baseball on the run and to be able to have an accurate throw to the first baseman. And it was decently accurate there, but just not in time. Next up is Dalton Rushing. The boomstick, baby. Yeah, the difference between, Randy and Cano is that even though Cano took plays off, the other team wouldn't score as many runs based on the laziness, because it seems like every ground ball that goes to Randy ends up leading to something huge. Hard hit ball, deep right field, back, gone. And Rushing with a big home run. And just like that, the Mariners are down 5-0, and that's usually the most that we can be down by to come back. And again, Brian Wu's struggles on the road continue. And again, it's going to take a miracle to come back and win this one. Shows you how deep this team truly is. When your catcher in the 8 hole that normally bats in the 9 hole, no Shohei Ohtani, no problem. And they end up being up 5-0 on us. Brutal. Next up in the 9 hole, coming back from a left oblique strain as well as surgery in the offseason, Kike Hernandez. And again, at home, his ERA is pretty good. It's in the 2s, but on the road, it's in the 6s. And obviously, he's 1 run away from matching that number. Terrible. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Bottom of the 4th, 5-0 Dodgers. And I guess we have to be thankful that we're not playing a 4-game set against the Dodgers. Let's get this game over with, and obviously get back home to T-Mobile, play the Twins with no Byron Buxton, have Bryce Miller on the mound starting tomorrow. And hopefully Brandon Donovan will be back on the team, and who knows, we might end up making a trade. Pretty soon. The deadline is coming up with less than a week away. And it also kind of makes me wonder for some of the guys that have been struggling. Are they injured? Sometimes they don't tell you, that if they are dealing with an injury, and that's maybe a part of the reason why. Just like, in the NFL with like quarterbacks, you wonder why your favorite quarterback sometimes struggles or plays bad. And then you end up watching a Netflix, quarterback and seeing certain guys, like Baker Mayfield that had injuries almost every week of the year. And some of them really significantly and bad, but, you don't really hear about that as fans. They like to keep it secret, and then once you end up seeing programs like that, you start to realize how many injuries that these athletes go through in all sports that sometimes don't get discovered until the end of the year, or sometimes not at all. It just ends up being a secret. And you just assume that they're playing bad because, they're sucking, and they're not hitting their spots. But sometimes there's an injury mixed in there too, whether it's minor or major. 1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike from Wu to Edman. One pitch popped up and out of play. Yeah, and again, it's crazy to go from being the best starter on the team, but then he got hurt at the end of the year. And if he didn't, we might have been able to make the World Series. If we had Wu for 3 games against the Blue Jays, that could have been the difference of winning, in Game 7. And we might have not been able to beat the Dodgers, but again, the Blue Jays took him to 7 games and almost beat them. So, a lot can change from one year to the next. But hopefully he'll get back to, the old Wu next season. We're going to need him to. Pitch is low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Edman. But I am really looking forward to Cade Anderson, being in the starting lineup. I honestly think that he could end up being the best pitcher on the staff, after a few years, and who knows how long it would take. Again, to me, he's got the it stuff. Obviously, he's still raw. He's not even in AAA yet. But if you watched him at LSU win the Natty, and you watched him in spring training and every single game that he's pitched, he's a phenom. And there's a chance, that he could end up being our best pitcher, at some point. And I truly believe that. All right, let's go to the top of the 5th inning, down by 5, which is not ideal. And that's usually the most that we can be down by to come back. So. And we need home runs. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. All right, next up, 0 for 1 with a K. Catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting second, 0 for 1, right fielder, Luke Raley. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K, third baseman in the 8-hole, Weston Wilson. Try to up. Let's go, M's. All right, we're at 25 on the dono train, 75 to go, 13 subs to go to 24,500, 513 to get to 25,000. That's exciting. 6.2 million views on the channel and counting. And we're at 89 likes. Can we get 11 people to hit the like button? And we'll be at 100. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Yeah, and this was supposed to be a Bryce Miller start. And when they said that it was going to be Woo, I didn't feel too good about it. But again, Woo, 2.20 ERA at home, but 6.52 on the road. And we haven't seen too many guys with ERAs like that besides Castillo and Mooney. But obviously Castillo continued, to kind of have some troubles, but has gotten a little bit better lately. And then Mooney has turned his season around, even though he's had close meltdowns, but we were still able to get that victory against the Dodgers a couple days ago. But overall, last 12, 13, 14 starts for Mooney, he's been great compared to what he was. First pitch in there for a strike from Roki Sasaki to Cal Raleigh. Takes a strike looking high and away on the corner. Four-seam fastball, 98 miles an hour, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Sasaki to Raleigh. We need a home run or two. Let's go. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Sasaki to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Yeah, Roki's locked in, and again, he's a very streaky pitcher. Sometimes he's off like Woo, but when he's on, he's electric. And obviously, a part of it has to do with our lack of hitting to make him look even better than he might be. But, hopefully we'll be able to get at least something on him before he exits. But that's what happens, when you have an all-star team that spends billions of dollars every year, it seems like, and that's 28 games above 500, and that is already back-to-back champs and could three-peat. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Cal, and that is 1 away. I mean, it's just disgusting to see who they have injured. Ohtani's day-to-day. Blake Snell's not available. Bobby Miller is injured. Gavin Stone. It's like they always have a bunch of, pitchers that are really good that usually end up getting hurt, and really the only, problem for the Dodgers is usually themselves, just staying healthy. So next up is Luke Raley. Oh, 1 pitch, big swing and a miss there to Luke. Splitter, 91 miles an hour. No balls and 2 strikes from Sasaki to Raley. But if we had to give up Castillo and Raley for Seiya Suzuki, or Hancock and Raley for Seiya Suzuki and a bullpen guy, I would do that. I mean, I like Luke Raley and all. I don't really necessarily want to give up Hancock. I'd rather give up Castillo, but sometimes you got to give up a piece, to get a piece. And Raley pops up into left and flies out, and that is 2 away. Yeah, I mean, and they have multiple Hall of Famers, and even the guys that aren't Hall of Fame, they're really, really good players, So it's like you got Freddie Freeman, Ohtani, and Mookie. They're all Hall of Famers. And then typically, you got Kyle Tucker, even though he's having a down year, normally a pretty good player. Teoscar, damn good player, right? Muncy, a good player. Pages is having a breakout year. And then even their role players like Edman and Kike, usually end up playing pretty fucking well. It's like, and then they have just a master class in pitching, starting in bullpen. And that is a little blooper that goes over the head. And nice job there by Weston Wilson, finally getting a hit there for the Mariners. Nice job by Weston. Next up in the 9-hole, shortstop, Colt Emerson. Let's go, Colt. just sometimes you're just out of your element with certain teams, 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss there by Colt. 1 ball and 1 strike from Sasaki to Emerson. I mean, it's like you got Shohei, who, obviously hasn't pitched in a while, but, he can go 3 games in a 7-game series. You got Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who was the MVP last year after Ohtani the previous year. And then you got guys like Roki that, are just kind of finding their way. And hustle there by Colt, but not in time. And that is out number 3. It's ridiculous on the talent that they have. But also, too, they spend the most money and they get the most results. Yankees usually spend money, but they don't make the World Series every year, let alone win it. So, all right, let's go to the bottom of the 5th and see who's up next here for the Dodgers. Next up for the Dodgers, 2 for 2 with a run, center fielder Andy Pages. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a K, first baseman Freddie Freeman. And batting third, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks, third baseman Max Muncy. And the crazy thing is Mookie and Kyle Tucker are having down years, and they still have 28 games above 500. It's like laughable. They have so much talent. It's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, and it's true. They might end up getting Skubal too. I mean, it's just kind of unfair if we're really being honest, right? But that's the way that it is. But that's why we will probably end up striking for hopefully not a long period of time, but hopefully it'll end up being just a month or 2, but it could be the whole season next year. And obviously it'll affect teams like the Dodgers and the Yankees and the Braves and the big baller teams that spend usually a lot of money. And then obviously it'll help out the teams at the bottom, and especially the teams in the middle that spend a little bit, like the Mariners, but not a lot, to try to even the playing field. But the only problem is the teams at the bottom, even after the strike and after the, negotiations, the bottom teams are still not going to spend money. The owners are cheap. They're just going to try to profit and spend, next to nothing. But it will help the teams in the middle potentially get a little bit higher, seating wise, going from maybe 10 to 15 all the way up to 5 to 9. And that is kind of, where some of the, teams are looking, based on, making it a little bit more of an even playing field. But even with that being said, even after the strike and even after the new format, the Dodgers are still going to be the Dodgers. The Yankees are still going to be the Yankees, and they're still going to be the favored teams, in each league. It's just how it is. One team's got Ohtani, the other team's got Judge, and as long as you have those guys and they're not hurt for the whole year, then you're going to be pretty fucking good. First pitch from Wu to Pages, in there for a strike, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, high and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Pages. Oh, 2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Wu to Pages. Yeah, but you got to also realize we've never, been to a World Series, and again, Lou Pinellas don't just grow on trees. We went from Scott Service to Dan Wilson, and they're the same guy. And there's not a lot of really good managers out there. There's only like 4 or 5 out of 30. So a rotating door of former players that get hired and fired. So, it's not like in the NFL where you can get an offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator from another team, or even get a guy from college that's good and then promote him, as a head coach, OC or DC. It's just, not as easy to be able to build a, that type of championship caliber type of team. But again, our team is much better than what it was. We had a 20-year drought with no chance of sniffing the playoffs. And from 2022 to 2042, we should be able to make the playoffs, 10 to 13 times out of 20 years. And then hopefully out of those, 10 to 13 times, 1 or 2 of them will be in a World Series, even though we may not win the first time we go. But, it's baby steps. You got to be able to prove that you can make the playoffs in back-to-back years or back-to-back-to-back. And we haven't really been able to prove that yet, so there's a combination of things, with bad manager, bad GM, injuries, poor play, people playing below their expectations, not just Wu and Kirby, but Munoz and, Naylor and a few others, and obviously the injury bug has hit us more this year than any year in the last 40. So we've never seen a team like this. And also all the basic things that we're not very good at, stealing bags, running bases, there's like every category, of a thing that we did great last year. We've gone down a few levels this year. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But I still love this team, and I'll still root for them, every single game. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Down goes Freeman, and that is 2 away. Yeah, Arroyo's name has been linked a little bit more than Lazaro Montes. Arroyo's an infielder, Montes is an outfielder. And obviously, if we can move on from Randy, we would want a guy like Montes still on the team. Honestly, we wouldn't mind having Arroyo on the team as well, but, you just never know. And I don't think the Padres are going to let go of Ty France. And even all these rumors about Mason Miller, I don't know if they'll even let him go. I mean, it's all rumors and speculation at this point. So same thing with Seiya Suzuki. It's all speculation. Pitch is outside. 1 ball and 1 strike from Wu to Muncy. But getting, Castillo and his money off the books would be good. Obviously getting Garver off the team, getting Castillo off the team, Ref Snyder off the team, big $7 million mistake, and making sure that we make smart decisions, but typically this organization doesn't. Like if we would have went with Johnny Pareda over Garver, we would have been much, much better. It's like hanging on to Dylan Moore for 4 extra months last year, just like hanging on to Ref Snyder, even though he did get the 2-run jack in game 1 that hit the pole, which was awesome. But overall, he's been terrible. I mean, I don't think anybody can deny that. So sometimes certain guys are a fit in Seattle and sometimes they're not. 2-2 pitch from Wu, high and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Wu to Muncy. Three-two pitch. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Muncy. And that is out number 3. Nobody in Seattle wants Walker Buehler. Please. Next up in the Mariners, 1 for 2, Cole Clutch Young. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a base on ball, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And batting third, 0 for 2, 2 Ks, DHing the Italian Stallion, Dominic Anzone. So we're at the top of the 6th, and hopefully we can try to get at least a couple runs before this game is over. We're at 25 on the Dono train. Shout out to Sean and Rebecca. 75 to go. Still 13 subs to go to 24,500. And we should be over 100 likes by now. See where we're at. And we're at 96. Can we get 4 people to hit that like button to get to 100? It would be greatly appreciated. Yeah, and I honestly think, like I mentioned earlier, I think Cade has the opportunity. Obviously, once he, goes through the progressions with Ryan Sloan to go to AAA and then eventually join the team. But based on just his aura and his vibe and his pitches selection and everything that he's got, I honestly think Cade could end up being our number one pitcher, sooner than later. Like obviously once he gets called up, it'll be bullpen first, and then they'll put him in the 5 spot like they did with Wu, and then eventually he'll go to like the 3. But I just think as far as confidence, and pitch selection and aura and vibe, it would not shock me one bit in a few years, if Cade Anderson is our best pitcher in our pitching staff. He's that good. And I wouldn't say that if I didn't believe it. And then even Ryan Sloan has got a lot of potential, to be one of those guys that could be in our starting rotation in a couple years too. So, and we got Lazaro Montes and Michael Arroyo in the farm, but who knows if they're going to be a part of a trade package this year, or next year, but we will see. First pitch in there to Cole Clutch Young is a strike, 0-1 count. But I do believe we have a bright future, but there are a few pieces that we need to get rid of. Castillo, Garver, Rev Snyder, Randy, just for vibes and, just effort and whatnot. So, but it will be interesting to see what we look like, after the deadline and what moves we make as far as also getting Brandon Donovan back and Rash and Criswell and Vargas. So, and another hit by Cole Clutch Young into center field. Great job by Cole. And Cole's trying to stretch it into 2. Go, Cole, go. Go, Cole. And he's going to go for a triple. Let's go. At least we have one bright spot this year, and that's Cole Clutch Young. We don't really have anything else. I mean, Bryce Miller was a bright spot for a little bit. Hancock has been better than expected, but really we've only had one bright spot this year, and that's Cole Clutch Young. Has been a fantastic player on this team with a lot of problems. But, this is the one thing that we can really be proud about. Should have made the All-Star team this year as a reserve. And honestly, once he gets his batting average closer to 280 to 300, he'll end up being the starting second baseman for the American League for years to come. And had more home runs and ribbies than Ernie Clement. And if you look at Ozzie Albies' numbers, the only thing that Clement and Albies had better than Cole Young is batting average, for the most part, but as far as all the other things. And Randy with a nice hit. There we go. And a nice RBI there. Right up the middle. And Randy with a double. And it's 5-1 Dodgers. Great job. Just have Randy DH. A nice job with the 2 guys at the top of the order getting the job done. 5-1 LA. All right, next up is Dominic Canzone. We can go for a Dom bomb right here to make it 5-3. First pitch to Canzone is low and away. 1-0 count. Pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and no strikes from Sasaki to Canzone. 2-0 pitch, low and away. Slider missing there to Dom. 3 balls and no strikes to Dominic Canzone with Randy at second. And Cole Young with a triple after they ended up kind of fumbling the bag out there in center field with Baez and company. And it rolled back to the wall. Cole had the awareness to go from first to second, second to third, and Randy gets a big double with that RBI. And Dominic Canzone with a 4-pitch walk. Starting to get a little bit of a mini meltdown here by Roki Sasaki. And again, no matter how good you are, no one is prone to meltdowns, no matter how much you've dominated the first 5 innings to the game. And now next up is Julio Rodriguez. And now Julio Rodriguez can give us some of that Soto mojo and Mariner magic and hit a 3-run bomb. We're right back in this game, 5-4. Let's go, Julio. And Julio Rodriguez line drive that's caught at third base by Max Muncy, and that is 1 away. Yeah, I mean, the Dodgers are ridiculous, JT. I mean, they're 68-40. 28 games above, 500. But again, there's a few other teams that have been great this season as well, like, the Brewers and a few others. Obviously, the American League is down. The Rays and Yankees have good records, but, if you're just looking at, the dominance of the National League, but just because the National League is better doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to win the World Series. But like, let's say, for example, the Dodgers get eliminated and someone else makes it out of the National League. Obviously, then that would be probably the best chance for an American League team to win. So. Yeah, Williamson's batting about 250-ish, but I think I would rather have Brendan Donovan if he could be healthy, and that's the big what if. Donovan is a better player, and Donnie normally doesn't play third. Ben Williamson was a natural third baseman, which is nice, and anytime you get someone within your own organization, it's nicer to root for guys like that. But we all thought that Ben Williamson and Harry Ford would be on this team for many, many years, and sometimes that's just not the case. Pitch fouled off there by Naylor. No balls and 2 strikes from Sasaki to Naylor. But again, we just don't really know, with Donnie, if he can. And this is the first time in his career that he's missed this, many games. He hasn't had many injuries like this. Had one other year where he missed a few, 60, 70, but this is the first year where he's missed almost the whole season. So hopefully it's not a trend. And Naylor with a nice base knock, and we got bases loaded with 1 out. And Paisley's coming in here to see what's going on. All right, Paisley's our good luck charm. All right, next up is the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Let's see if they end up making a pitching change or not. They got the interpreter out there. They got Pryor out there, rushing out there. And if Cal can hit a grand slam, the game is tied. I mean, and again, the most runs that we can come back from is 5. Anything above 5, usually the game is over. We haven't really proven that we can come back by being down by more than 5, more than just a couple times this season. Is it possible? Yeah, but usually based on the stats and the analytics, for the 2026 season, 5 is usually the max. And again, Sasaki having a meltdown, and we got bases loaded. We're down by 4. And hopefully if we don't get, the grand salami, hopefully we can at least cut this game to 5-3. So that way we feel like we actually have a chance to come back. So let's go, Cal. Now, if Cal was batting from the right side, I think there would be a better chance for the grand slam to happen. He hasn't really been seeing the baseball as well from the left side in the last month or so. Right side has been a little bit better. But you never know. Maybe he can lock in here. 1-0 pitch, low and away. And even if Cal takes the walk and we get that freebie runner to score from third, I'll take that. Anything to keep the game going. 2-0 pitch. Low and at the knees. It's a 3-0 count. If Cal just doesn't swing, we're going to get that freebie at first. And the Dodger fans are unserious because they're doing the wave right now. They win so many games, they just really don't give a shit. There's no reason to be doing the wave right now. 3-0 pitch in there for a strike. But can he pitch 2 more strikes on top of that? And we'll see what kind of patience Cal has here. Realistically, he'll probably swing at this next pitch. So, but if it's outside of the zone, I hope he just doesn't. I mean, unless he's able to have a good follow-through swing and get an RBI, then yeah, go for it. But no double plays, damn it. Come on, Cal. 3-1 pitch. Outside, and we get that freebie run to score from third. 5-2 Dodgers. Here we come. Here we go. Good at bat for Cal. And we obviously know how overly aggressive, Cal, Julio, and Naylor were at the beginning of the year. Randy comes home from third, 5-2 Dodgers. There we go. We'll take that. And now we got a pitching change. And next up would have been Luke Raley. And it shows you, Roki was so good for 5 innings, but it shows you, no matter how electric you can be, no pitcher, is going to be, clean all the way through every single outing throughout the whole year. Sometimes you're going to pitch, 8-9 innings. Sometimes you're going to get close to a no-hitter. And if you're special enough, maybe you'll get one, or a combined no-hitter, but other times you'll pitch, for 4, 5, 6 innings and be lights out. And then all of a sudden, right before you're about to exit the game, sometimes the meltdown happens. And it's a pretty common thing in baseball, no matter how good you are. And Dreyer is coming in. And hopefully Dreyer will have a meltdown too. All right, Jack Dreyer coming in, the lefty. All right, Mariner Moose. I mean, this game was really embarrassing for a little bit there when you're down 5-0, but that's why, I'm still trying to stay, somewhat positive, even though, things are going terribly. And, a little bit of luck helps also. So Wu has a meltdown, right? Gives up 5. Roki has a little bit of a meltdown. And hopefully we can continue the meltdown here with Jack Dreyer. Yeah, Ref Snyder coming in. Ref Snyder with a grand slam. That'd just be so ironic if Ref Snyder is the one that reason why we win both games. I mean, obviously there was, 5 home runs, right? 1 by Julio, 1 by Cal, 2 by Dom, and 1 by Ref Snyder. But again, if Ref Snyder doesn't get the 2-run jack, we don't win the game. So obviously that was a huge part of it, hitting the pole, right? And obviously being our worst player on the team, kind of like a Dylan Moore from our team last year, where we could have brought up Leo Rivas months before that. But all right, Rob. See if Rob can give us some of that Soto mojo and that Mariner magic again. I know that's asking a lot, but even an RBI would be great. 0-1 pitch, low and away, but hitting the strike zone on the corner. No balls and 2 strikes. Shoot Rob Ref Snyder. Oh-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. And that is 2 away. I think I would have rather just had Luke Raley, because obviously Dom, hit 2 home runs off lefties and, doing the whole righties for lefties, lefty for righties. Yeah, sometimes it works, but sometimes it doesn't. So I think it's a little bit overplayed out and whatnot. All right, next up is Weston Wilson. Let's see if he can make the most of his opportunity here. And Wilson with a little slow dribbler. Throw to first. High throw. And the tag, even though he was off the bag, got him. And we leave bases loaded, stranded, but at least we scored a run. I guess if we have to look at it that way. Would have liked to see more patience out of Weston Wilson at that at-bat. Pitch 4, pitch 5, pitch 6. But unfortunately, we don't get that. But 5-2 is better than 5-0. And it still gives us a chance. It might be a small chance, but it still gives us a chance to come back. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. All right, let's see who's up next for the Dodgers here in the bottom of the 6th. 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs in that first inning. Shortstop Mookie Betts. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a run and a base on ball. Right fielder Kyle Tucker. And batting third, 1 for 2 with a run, DHing the former Blue Jay and Mariner, Teoscar Hernandez. Too bad Teoscar didn't stay on the Mariners. I'd rather have Teoscar than Randy Arozarena any day. But I do appreciate Randy and what he does in the box, just not defensively. All right, we're at 109 likes. Appreciate you. 91 to 200. Mariners got 5 hits, just like the Dodgers, but the difference is that big home run by Rushing, scoring Tucker and Hernandez. And we're still waiting for our home run, and hopefully we get it. And hopefully it ends up being a 3-run jack as well. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 6. And Wu is done, and they're bringing in Hoppy. Traded, obviously, Hoppy for Davila. All right, Hoppy. Let's see what you can do. First pitch is fouled off there by Mookie. 0-1 count. And again, we've never had a season where we've had half of the bullpen, be AAA guys. That obviously has been a big part of a lot of losses this year. And on top of that, Bizzardo, Ferrer, and Spire haven't been as consistent as they were last year. Obviously Ferrer not being on the team, being on the Nationals with the Harry Ford trade, but for Spire and for Bizzardo, not as consistent, as we would like. So, and then Mooney being terrible at the beginning of the year, and so bullpen, even though a lot of our stats have been in the top 5, top 6, based on our starting pitching and our bullpen, it doesn't feel like it. Based on watching this team, so closely day in and day out. But, and then sometimes we're going to slide with some of those stats being like top 12, in certain categories. But still, our team's pitching is usually quite a bit better than a lot of other teams that are out there. But we definitely have had our fair share of meltdowns. 2-2 pitch. But if Mooney can, be the way that he's been, and then we can get, Vargas playing for the first time this year and not suck. And then Criswell and Brash can be effective. It's, and we're going to probably grab another bullpen or piece or two. I assume, the Marlins will be a trade partner. They've been a trade partner with us the last few years. So I don't know if that means Otto Lopez and a closer, bullpen guy that we would get, unless we're, lucky enough to get Mason Miller. But I think it would be more likely to get Adrian Morejon, for a lefty in the pen, and that might actually, could happen, but you never know. And Mookie with the challenge, and it is a ball. Call is overturned. Count now is 3 balls and 2 strikes instead of the punch out there for Hoppy. 3-2 pitch. Popped up and behind the plate and out of play. Count still remains 3 balls, 2 strikes from Hoppy to Betts. Hard hit ball towards left field and foul, hitting the netting. Bottom of the 6th inning, 5-2 Dodgers. Hoppy on the mound, Mookie Betts in the box. 3-2 pitch, and that is strike 3. Nice job there by Hoppy. Nice job, Alex. Not many guys can strike out Mookie Betts, even though he's having a down year, but did get that big RBI on Woo in the first. That kind of set the tone for them. And another guy that's been struggling for them this year, that obviously was ring chasing, 6-hole hitter, right fielder Kyle Tucker from the Astros. On deck is Teoscar Hernandez. First pitch to Tucker is in there for a strike. Four-seam fastball, 99 miles an hour there by Hoppy. 0-1 count. Oh, 0-1 pitch, popped up and out of play. A four-seam fastball there by Hoppy. 99 miles an hour. And normally Hoppy wouldn't be hitting, those type of numbers, but I guess something helped him in AAA. 0-2 pitch. And that is strike 3. Wow. Hoppy looking good here so far. Striking out Betts and striking out Tucker. Okay. Nice job. Maybe we should have started Hoppy over Brian Wu. Next up in the 7-hole, DHing Teoscar Hernandez. Let's see if he can strike out the side. And when we first called up Hoppy, he ended up striking out the side, but then we had to play him another inning, and then he got roughed up and whatnot. But he's got, some potential at times where he can, kind of lock in and get a few punch outs in an inning. But typically a guy you only want to pitch a half inning, not 2. Like the way they usually treat Spire. 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike to Teoscar. Takes that strike looking low and at the knees on the line. 1 ball and 1 strike from Hoppy to Hernandez. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. And that was kind of the issue that Hoppy had before he ended up going to AAA, is that he couldn't hit the corners or the strike zone. Everything was low and into the dirt, either inside or outside. And then seems like they have fixed some of those issues. 2-1 pitch. And a little dribbler towards third and foul. Slider 90 miles an hour. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on and 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th, 5-2 Dodgers. Hoppy looking good, striking out Betts and Tucker after Wu giving up 5. But obviously that's not a surprise since Wu's ERA on the road is 6.52 and at home is 2.20. So he didn't hit 6, but he got pretty close. Put us in a big jam, but at least we got to 2. Could have been much better if we had someone other than Refsnyder there at the end. But 2-2 pitch. And a hard hit ball. Deep center field. Back. Gone! And Teoscar Hernandez might have put this game out of reach. 6-2 LA. And after striking out Mookie Betts and Kyle Tucker, his luck ran out. Teoscar Hernandez on a 2-2 count says, you know what? I did this on the Blue Jays. I did this on the Mariners. I did it in the home run derby, and I'll do it against Alex Hoppy. But on the bright side, at least it was only a solo dinger. So at least we're not down by 5, 6, 7 runs right now. Only down 4. So we're still, quote unquote, still in it, even though it's not looking good. Next up, 1 for 2 with a run, 3 RBIs and a K. Catcher Dalton Rushing, who ended up having that 3-run jack that put this game at 5-0. Oh, 1 pitch, popped up and out of play. Easily walked out of the room after that Teoscar home run. I don't blame her. Bottom of the 6th, 6-2 Dodgers. Nobody on and 2 outs. Hoppy on the mound, Rushing in the box. Oh, 2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th, 6-2 LA. One-two pitch fouled off towards first base with the slider. 90 miles an hour. Nobody wants Rob Refsnyder, Charles. They're not going to get rid of a guy that they paid $7 million to. And no one would want Rob. Anyways, there's no way that Rob is going to get traded. Based on normally what the Mariners do, I would be shocked if any team would be like, yeah, we want Rob Refsnyder after how he's played this year. Now, if we're talking about the Rob Refsnyder last year that was on Boston, then yeah, he was mashing lefties and he was actually worth picking up, but not this Rob Refsnyder in 2026. They're on the hook for $7 million, and they're not even willing to bench him, to say that they made a mistake. So I highly doubt any team is interested. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th, 6-2 LA. 3-2 pitch. And finally, we get strike 3 there on rushing, but not after Teoscar hits a solo dinger to put them up 4. I mean, it would be nice if the Mariner organization could just be honest and just say, you know what, we fucked up and we made a mistake. We overpaid for a guy that was good in Boston, and just eat the money and just deactivate him, and let it loose, But I mean, look how long they kept Dylan Moore on the team last year. They should have cut him, 3, 4, 5 months, before they, finally did, So I mean, if we would have had Leo Rivas up on the team a couple months before, we could have maybe won a few more games last season. But the Mariner organization with DePoto and and Wilson, they're stubborn, and they're not willing to admit that they made a mistake. All right, next up for the Mariners in the top of the 7th, we got a 3-inning sprint to make up 4 runs. We just got to try to chip away and get it to 6-2 to 6-3 to 6-4. Next up, 0 for 2 with a K, shortstop Colt Emerson. Batting second, 2 for 3 with a run. The only bright spot this season, it feels like. Second baseman Cole Clutch Young. I love you, my favorite player. And batting third, 1 for 2 with a run, RBI and a base on ball, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And we saw Cole and Randy step up earlier in the game to get us on the board, and hopefully they can do it again. Trident's up, let's go M's. $25 on the Dono train because of Sean and Rebecca, $75 to go. Still need 13 subs to get to 24,500, 513 to 25,000. 6.2 million views and counting. Next goal will be 7 million views on the channel. And we're at 116 likes. Let's see if we can get close to 150 before the game is over. First pitch from Dreyer to Cole, high and inside, 1-0 count. And I think if Cole just learns, after his rookie season, just to be patient, like Young and JP and Dom, and, you don't even need to swing at the first 2 or 3 pitches. Just let the game kind of come to you. And then that's when Colton will break out and, could end up potentially having, 15 to 25 home runs, whether it's in year 2 or year 3, just being a little bit more patient in the box. He's already got the defense down like Cole Young. And we saw the big leap that Cole made from last year to this year. And I believe Colt can make a big jump as well. Emerson grounds out to the shortstop, and that is 1 away. Next up, second baseman Cole Clutch Young. Let's go, Cole. First pitch right down the middle, takes a strike, 0-1 count. Young is due for a home run, too. Let's go, Cole. And a little line drive towards third. It's fumbled. Throw to first. And even with the drop there by Muncy, it's still in time, and that is 2 away. Muncy got enough arm strength to even fumble it and still make it to first to Freddie Freeman. He's done that twice today. And next up is Randy Arozarena, and they have another pitching change. All right, Dreyer is done. All right, Edgardo Henriquez is coming in, the righty. All right, Henriquez enters the game for the Dodgers, and let's see if Randy Arozarena can give us one of those unexpected home runs to cut into this lead, or at least a single or double to keep the inning alive. Judah in the building, what's good? First pitch into Randy Arozarena is in there for a strike, 0-1 count. Top of the seventh inning, 6-2 Dodgers. Sinker triple digits there from Henriquez. 0-1 pitch, Randy with a little blooper. And a nice little blooper there by Randy Arozarena in center. Nice job, Randy. One thing that Randy can do this season is hit. Our most consistent hitter from the beginning of the year. Also hasn't had any really long major injuries as well. Next up, 0 for 2 with a base on ball and 2 Ks. We could really use a Dom bomb right here to make it 6-4. First pitch to Canzone is high and away. 1-0 count. Top of the seventh inning, runner at first, Arozarena with 2 outs, 6-2 Dodgers. 1-0 pitch, high and away. Good take there by Dom. 2 balls and no strikes from Henriquez to Canzone. Come on, Dom. Two-0 pitch, takes a strike low and away, hitting the corner though and getting the call. Right on the line, sinker in triple digits, 100 miles an hour there by Henriquez. 2 balls and 1 strike with the runner at first. Arozarena with 2 outs. Henriquez on the mound, Dominic Canzone in the box. 2-1 pitch, and a hard hit ball in the left field fading out of play. 4-seam fastball, 99 miles an hour there by Henriquez. 2 balls, 2 strikes. With the runner at first and 2 outs. Come on, Dom. Two-two pitch, low and at the knees, and Randy will steal the bag as that pitch gets away from rushing. Good awareness there by Randy Arozarena. On deck is Julio Rodriguez. After that pass ball, Randy moves it to scoring position. 3-2 pitch, popped up and out of play. Four-seam fastball again there by Henriquez. Count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, runner at second with 2 outs. Take the walk if it's there, Dom. Three-two pitch, popped up and out of play. Dom is grinding in this at bat. Next pitch will be number 8. I mean, we're 1 home run away from, making this a ball game. Three-two pitch, and that ends up being a walk, unless we can continue to get meltdowns by the Dodger bullpen. All right, so now we got runners at first and second, and if we, can get a hold of one, and if Julio Rodriguez can hit a 3-run jack to match Rushing's 3-run jack from earlier tonight, then the game is 6-5, and we're definitely back in the game. Let's see if Julio can get a hold of one. Come on, J-Rod. Bring that electricity. You are due, my boy. Let's go. Let's go, Julio. First pitch to Julio, popped up into right field, out of play. 0-1 count. Top of the 7th inning, runners at first and second with 2 outs. Dodgers up 6-2. But again, with one good swing, it could be 6-3, 6-4, or even best case scenario, 3-run jack, 6-5. Come on, Julio. Got to get your first hit of the day. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike high and inside there by Henriquez, who's been pitching 99, 100, and 101. That pitch was off speed to him, which would be high 90s, cutter 93 miles an hour. 0-2 pitch, and Julio pops it up and out of play. No balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Top of the 7th inning, 6-2 Dodgers. We are pretty good with 2 outs in the 7th, 8th, and 9th typically, but let's see if Julio can come up with something. Pitch is high and inside towards the head. 4-seam fastball, 99 miles an hour there by Henriquez. 1 ball, 2 strikes, runners at first and second, Randy at second, Dom at first with 2 outs. Come on, Julio. We need you to heat up. Whoa! And if Julio would have stayed in place, that would have hit him in the head. He ducked to avoid another concussion. That's the last thing that we would need. Jesus. I'm glad Julio was able to duck out of the way. Just our luck, he gets hit in the head for another concussion and misses a few weeks. That would be not good. 2-2 pitch. Little dribbler towards third and foul. I mean, he already missed way too much time after going from first to second base, and the Angels hit him in the head with the batting helmet on, and missed all of the Marlins series, missed all of the Rays series, and we were only able to win 1 game in those 2 series, the last one before the All-Star break. So, and that's the one player that we cannot get injured. When Julio's not in the lineup, we typically don't win. And sometimes we don't even compete. 2-2 pitch. Julio fouls that one back behind the plate. Count still now is 2 balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Come on, J-Rod. Single, double, triple, home run. I don't really want him to get hit by a pitch. Two-two pitch. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. Count is full. I would take a walk out of Julio as well. Three balls, 2 strikes, runners at first and second and 2 outs. Come on, Julio. Take a walk if it's there. And Julio with a little line drive towards third, throw to first, and that is out number 3. Would like to see a little bit more effort running to first there by Julio, but it is what it is. All right, we leave 2 stranded. Let's go to the bottom of the 7th and see who's up next here for the Dodgers. Next up for the Dodgers in the 9 hole, 0 for 2 with a K, coming back from a left oblique strain, Kike Hernandez. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a run, base on ball and a K, second baseman Tommy Edman. And batting third, 2 for 3 with a run, center fielder Andy Pages. Try ends up. Let's go M's. They still got Hoppy out there. First pitch to Kike Hernandez is in there for a strike, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, low and away. Slider 90 miles an hour, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the 7th inning, 6-2 Dodgers. 1-1 pitch. Little slow dribbler there up the middle. Emerson is there. Throw to first. A little bit low, but Naylor scoops it up, and that is 1 away. We'll be live tomorrow, same time, same place, 7:10 Pacific, going against the Twins, but we will be at home at T-Mobile, and we definitely need to hear the roar of the crowd. It's been a long road trip. Next up is Tommy Edman. First pitch to Edman, pops it up. And Randy is there, and that is 2 away. Next up in the 2-hole, center fielder Andy Pages. On deck is Freddie Freeman. Let's go, Hoppy. Hoppy's been productive since coming in for Brian Wu. First pitch into Pages is a ball, 1-0 count. Good challenge there by Cal Raleigh. Call is overturned. 4-seam fastball, 98 miles an hour in the zone. Nice challenge, Cal. 0-1 pitch from Hoppy. Almost in the same spot. That one is a little bit outside. 1 ball and 1 strike from Alex Hoppy to Andy Pages. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike from Hoppy to Pages. Come on, Hoppy. Two-one pitch, low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 1 strike from Hoppy to Pages. No, it just wasn't really ideal right before the All-Star break, playing the hottest team in baseball, the Marlins, and then playing the best team in the American League, the Rays, and then having to play a hot Ranger team, and then playing the Dodgers right after that on the road. But it's not going to get any easier in August. It's one of the most brutal August schedules I've ever seen, considering how we played this year. And then it does get a little bit easier in September, but can we make it through August? That's the question. 3-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Hoppy to Pages. And we'll see if we make some moves at the deadline and who's on the team. And we end up getting some of our injured players back. Brendan Donovan, Matt Brash, Cooper Criswell, Carlos Vargas. We're going to need all 4 of those guys. And hopefully we don't have any injuries with any of the guys that are playing now. Little slow dribbler, throw to first, off the 1 hopper, and that is out number 3. All right, let's go to the top of the 8th. We need to get 2 runs in the 8th and 2 in the 9th, which is a big ask. But hopefully we can at least get a run or 2 at the very least before this game is over. Next up for the Mariners, 1 for 3 with a K in the 5-hole. First baseman, it's nailed. Josh Naylor. Batting second, 0 for 2 with an RBI, base on ball, and 2 Ks, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And batting third would have been Luke Raley in the previous at-bat, but obviously now it's Rob Refsnyder. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. 13 subs to go to 24,500. We're at 25 on the Dono train. 75 to go. And we're at 122 likes. See if we can get as close to 150 as possible. Stormbum in the building. What's good? '50th anniversary for the Seattle Mariners. 40 plus years on the radio for this legend and icon. He's retiring after this season, so we dedicate every stream to the one and only Rick Riz. Shout out to our female audience, all our new subs, all of our regulars and our mods, and everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. Come on, Mariners. Hope we can get to at least 3 or 4 at the very least if we're not going to make the full comeback. And Scott now enters the game for the Dodgers, the lefty. 1-0 pitch from Scott. Low and at the knees. 2 balls and no strikes from Scott to Naylor. Two-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss, low and away. Slider 88 miles an hour there by Scott. 2 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. Top of the 8th inning, 6-2 Dodgers. 2-1 pitch. And Tanner Scott pitches inside. 3 balls and 1 strike to Josh Naylor. 3-1 pitch. And Naylor was making his way to first, and he's going to challenge. And we'll see if this gets reversed or not. And Naylor is going to lose the challenge there. Call is confirmed. Count now is 3 balls and 2 strikes from Tanner Scott to Josh Naylor. Come on, Josh. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 3-2 pitch, little blooper into right, and it drops. Nice job there by Josh Naylor. Good start for the Mariners here with your first batter, Josh Naylor, with a little bloop single into right. Next up is the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Come on, Cal. Let's hit a home run right here and make it 6-4. You get to bat from the right side, and you've been seeing the baseball better from that side. Let's go, Cal. First pitch, big swing and a miss with the slider right down the middle. 0-1 count. One pitch, check swing. Did he go? And looks like he did go around. Got to have patience, Cal. No balls and 2 strikes to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Oh-2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cal Raleigh. One-two pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls, 2 strikes from Tanner Scott to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Come on, Cal. I mean, if Cal's going to hit a home run, it's normally going to be from the right side rather than the left as of late. 2-2 pitch, low and at the knees again. Count now is full. Take the walk if it's there, Cal. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Count is full. With a runner at first and no outs. Come on, Cal. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Take the walk if it's there, Cal. 3-2 pitch. And Cal with a little slow dribbler towards third. Could be a double play. Throw to first. And not in time. Fielder's choice, but Cal is running hard to first, and it's safe. Next up for the Mariners will be Rob Refsnyder. On deck is Weston Wilson. And Brandon Donovan can't join this team soon enough. And not having J.P. Crawford, I don't think people realize how important he is to this team. Not only just vibes, even though his defense has been a little suspect at short and third this year, but, he's the most patient hitter on the team, and, he draws walks and has, really good at-bats, and we haven't really seen a lot of good at-bats, yesterday or today. And coincidentally, when we won Game 1, who was playing? J.P. Crawford. 0-1 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. 1 ball and 1 strike to Rob Refsnyder. A big $7 million mistake. I did hit that 2-run jack in Game 1 to help us win, so got to give credit where credit is due, even though we haven't had too many good moments with him this year. Big swing and a miss there by Rob. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Tanner Scott to Rob Refsnyder. Come on, Rob. Find a way. 1-2 pitch. Into the dirt. And Cal's not fast enough to advance. Would have got thrown out by a mile by rushing if he would have tried. Two pitch. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Ref Snyder. And that is 2 away. Next up is Weston Wilson. Athletics, Angels, and Mariners' worst road record since June 1st. And that's not a good stat to be a part of. One-0 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and no strikes to Weston Wilson. Two-0 pitch. Tanner Scott throws it low and at the knees again. Count now is 3 balls and no strikes to Weston Wilson. Come on, Weston. 3-0 pitch. Takes a strike right down the middle. Three balls and 1 strike from Scott to Wilson. 3-1 pitch, and that ends up being a walk. And a little bit of a mini meltdown here by Tanner Scott. This would be a great time for a 3-run jack by Colt Emerson. He is very overdue. You know, had 7 home runs early in the season and hasn't hit one in a minute. Let's go, Colt. On deck is Cole Clutch Young. You get back-to-back homers from Emerson and Young, the game is tied. I mean, obviously the chance of that happening is like 1 in a billion, but you never know. And we've had a few games recently where we've hit back-to-back home runs by 2 players. Come on, Colt. Get a hold of this. Hit a homer. First pitch is high and away, hitting the corner for a strike, 0-1 count. Top of the 8th inning, runners at first and second with 2 outs. Oh-1 pitch, low and away. Hitting the strike zone on the line. No balls and 2 strikes to Colt Emerson. Come on, Colt. Oh-2 pitch, low and at the knees. Count now is 1 ball, 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Top of the 8th inning, 6-2 Dodgers. Come on, Colt. We need Colt and Cole Young to do something here. One-two pitch. Popped up and out of play. Slider 87 miles an hour, right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Top of the 8th, 6-2 LA. We had Julio and Cal go back-to-back. One-two pitch, and Emerson pops it up into shallow left. And unfortunately, that is caught, and that is out number 3. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 8th and see who's up next for the Dodgers. And we got one last chance to make a rally and hopefully put up at least one more run if possible, at the very least. All right, next up for the Dodgers, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks, first baseman Freddie Freeman. Batting second, 0 for 3 with 3 Ks, third baseman Max Muncy. And batting third, 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a K, Mookie Betts. Try dance up. Let's go, M's. 13 subs to go to 24,500. 513 to get to 25,000. We're at 25 on the dono train, 75 to go. And we're at 130 likes. See if we can get 20 more to get to 150. All right, Cole Wilcox is coming into the game for the M's. All right, Wilcox on the mound for the Mariners. And leading off for the Dodgers, one of the best first basemen in this generation, Freddie Freeman. Appreciate you. Bottom of the 8th inning, 6-2 LA. First pitch from Cole Wilcox, low and at the knees to Freddie Freeman. 1-0 count. Four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, low and at the knees. One-0 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and no strikes from Wilcox to Freeman. And again, obviously a very, very long road trip. Potentially only winning 1 game out of 4 against the Rangers and 1 out of 3 against the Dodgers. And we're definitely ready to come back home. And Freeman has a base knock up the middle that rolls to Julio Rodriguez. And we start tomorrow with no days off, and we play the Minnesota Twins. But again, they will not have Byron Buxton, but they did hit a big grand salami by Cody Clemens, Roger Clemens' son today. So they're going to be, upbeat and, obviously ready for the challenge. And hopefully we'll be able to get some dubs against them. We're going to need it, especially how we've played in these last 2 series. And for the year, for that matter. First pitch to Muncy, pops him up. And Cal is there in foul territory, and that is 1 away. Nice job, Cal. Next up is Mookie Betts. Oh, 1 pitch, high and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Wilcox to Betts. And that's a crazy stat that they just brought out there on the broadcast, that we were top 10 in hitting the fastball last year with all those home runs by, multiple players, not just Cal Raleigh. And we're dead last, hitting that fastball slugging wise. And, based on the season that we've had, that doesn't surprise me. One-two pitch, and he fouls it off himself. Hopefully he's okay. Count still remains 1 ball and 2 strikes with the runner at first and 1 out. Bottom of the 8th, 6-2 Dodgers. We need Brandon Donovan back. We need Cooper Criswell back. We need Carlos Vargas back. We need Matt Brash back. And we need to make some moves at the deadline. 1-2 pitch, hard hit ball towards first, and it rolls into right field. Freeman hustling to third. And now the runners are at the corners at first and third with 1 out. Next up in the 6th hole, right fielder Kyle Tucker. And on deck is Teoscar Hernandez. Yeah, I sure as hell hope so. And Tucker, hard hit ball, deep right field, and fading foul. Schedule in August is brutal, though. We play a lot of really, really good teams at home and on the road, so that's really going to make or break us more than likely. But September's schedule is pretty easy, but can we make it through August without being, 5-10 games below 500? We'll find out. It's going to be very challenging. And also depending on who we get at the deadline or who we don't get. 0-1 pitch. Takes a strike swinging low and at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes from Wilcox to Tucker. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Tucker. And that is 2 away. Teoscar's been good everywhere he's been. Blue Jays, Mariners, winning the home run derby, Dodgers. Good player. I'd rather have Teoscar Hernandez than Randy Arozarena. I mean, if we're talking about guys in the outfield. First pitch is low and away with the sweeper, 87 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Good old Jimothy. 1-0 pitch, low and away there by Wilcox. Sweeper missing on back-to-back pitches, 87 and 88 miles an hour. 2 balls and no strikes with runners on the corners at first and third with 2 outs. Bottom of the 8th, 6-2 LA. Two-0 pitch, low and away. Count now is 3 balls and no strikes from Wilcox to Hernandez as we limp our way out of Los Angeles. And I'm definitely looking forward to the Twin Series starting tomorrow. No Byron Buxton, same time, same place. We're going to be live around 7:10 Pacific, I believe. And again, we're going to need the fan support, obviously at T-Mobile, and I believe we'll get it. 3-0 pitch, high and inside, and Teoscar with a walk. Next up in the 8-hole with a 3-run jack earlier today, catcher Dalton Rushing. And the last thing that we need is a grand salami to make it 10-2 Dodgers. Come on, Ems. First pitch, low and at the knees with a sweeper. Big swing and a miss by Rushing. 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, popped up and out of play. Four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour, high and away. No balls and 2 strikes with bases loaded and 2 outs. Bottom of the 8th, 6-2 Dodgers. Come on, Wilcox, out of this. 0-2 pitch, and that is strike 3 looking. And leaves the bases loaded, thank God. All right, here we go. We're down by 4. I mean, the chance of us coming back to tie this game or win is slim to none, but, it would be nice if we could get at least one more run on the board at the very least. But let's see if we actually have the right pieces to do that. And it looks like we do. All right, next up, 2 for 4 with a run. Maybe the only bright spot on the Mariners season this year, Cole Clutch Young. Batting second, 2 for 3 with a run and RBI and a walk. Left fielder Randy Arozarena. And batting third, 0 for 2 with 2 walks and 2 Ks, Dominic Canzone. See if we can get hits out of all 3 guys, or at least 1 or 2 of these guys, to hopefully ease us a little bit closer to 6-2 to 6-3 or 6-4 before this one's over. Unless we get the most epic meltdown of meltdowns, but you never know. Edwin Diaz coming in to close the game out. 13 subs to go to 24,500. We're at 25 on the Dono train, 75 to go. Shout out to our goats that come through and do what they do, Sean and Rebecca. And we're at 137, 13 more likes to 150. Haven't had too many bright spots in 2026, but this is by far the biggest. Is the emergence of a perennial all-star in Cole Clutch Young. Offense, defense, he can do it all. He can even hit some home runs from time to time. Angry says, sports gods. Man, this would be a big meltdown by Edwin Diaz. I mean, they're more likely to get 3 outs right away rather than us to get 3 or 4 runs. But again, baseball is a crazy sport. You just never know when that epic meltdown may arrive. And we got Young, we got Arozarena, and we got Dom. So those would be the 3 guys that you would want, up in this situation to try to make a run. First pitch is low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Diaz on the mound, the former Mariner and Met. 1-0 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and no strikes from Diaz to Young. Good start here for Cole Clutch Young. Two-0 pitch, high and inside. Count now is 3 balls, no strikes to Cole Clutch Young. Diaz having a hard time hitting the strike zone here early. Come on, Cole. 3-0 pitch, finally getting a strike, high and away. 3 balls and 1 strike from Diaz to Young. Come on, Cole. Celebrated his birthday yesterday. By far my favorite player on the team. Love guys that can play offense and defense. 3-1 pitch, high and away. Painting the corner. And if we had any challenges left, that would be one that maybe we could win. But challenges are obviously all gone. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Cole Clutch Young. 3-2 pitch. And Young pops it up. Deep left field. And caught. And that is 1 away. Next up in the 2-hole, left fielder Randy Arosarena, and on deck is the Italian stallion Dominic Canzone. First pitch to Randy is low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Pitch, high and inside, but hitting the corner with that slider by Edwin Diaz. 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy Arosarena. And Randy with a little dribbler up the middle. And, Randy may have issues playing defense, but he's a damn good hitter for the Mariners this season. Nice job, Randy. Next up in the 3-hole, DHing Dominic Canzone. On deck is Julio Rodriguez. Wow. 3rd with runs scored per game on the road to 24th. That'll do it, and again, we haven't won very many road series this season as well. A lot of injuries and a lot of poor play. 0-1 pitch, popped up and out of play. No balls and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. Oh-2 pitch, little dribbler, and it is foul. Have a good day or good night, Jerry. Top of the 9th, runner at first with 1 out, 6-2 Dodgers. We'll be live tomorrow at 7 o'clock Pacific. Twins versus the Mariners at T-Mobile. Very excited about that. No Byron Buxton, so hopefully we'll be able to take advantage. Who hit the injured list. 0-2 pitch and a hard hit ball towards first base and out of play. Oh-2 pitch, and that is a big swing and a miss on a pitch high and away, and that's 2 away. I'm frustrated on that wild swing on that bad pitch by Diaz. All right, next up is Julio Rodriguez. On deck is Josh Naylor. First pitch is high and inside, 1-0 count. Hard hit ball into deep right field, fading out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike with runners at first with 2 outs. Top of the 9th, 6-2 Dodgers. One pitch, big swing and a miss. Nasty pitch there by Edwin Diaz. Got to get JP Crawford back in the lineup and hopefully Brendan Donovan to join the team. All right, we're down to our last strike here. 1-2 pitch, and that is strike 3 looking, and that is the ball game. Final score, Dodgers 6, Mariners 2. Let's go over the stats quickly like we always do. All right, Tommy Edman 0 for 3 with a run. Andy Pages 2 for 4 with a run. Freddie Freeman 1 for 4. Max Muncy 0 for 4. Mookie Betts 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Kyle Tucker 0 for 3 with a run. Teoscar Hernandez 2 for 3 with a big home run. Dalton Rushing 1 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a big home run. And then Kike Hernandez 0 for 3. And then let's go with the Mariners. Cole Young 2 for 5 with a run. Randy Arozarena with a good game, 3 for 4 with an RBI. Dominic Canzone 0 for 3. Julio Rodriguez 0 for 4. Josh Naylor 2 for 4. Cal Raleigh 0 for 3. Luke Rayleigh 0 for 3 or 0 for 2. And Weston Wilson 1 for 3. And Colt Emerson 0 for 4. Final score, Dodgers 6, Mariners 2. Shout out to Rebecca and Sean for holding it down, as well as all of the regulars and all of the mods. I look forward to seeing you there tomorrow as well, Blue Jay. And I appreciate you, Rebecca. And again, we just got to be able to get back on track at home at T-Mobile. And it'll be glad to be back playing in front of our home fans. Love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Final score, Dodgers 6, Mariners 2. And I got one question for you. Who you know talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Tridents up and go Mariners.